Yo, Ego got another one. Rolando Romero goes off on Oscar. I do believe De La Hoya. He blames him. He's blaming Ryan Garcia. He's blaming the whole entourage for a failed fight that is not looking like it's going to materialize. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Rolly Romero, the untouchable, outspoken. He took to his social media and he screenshotted a personal conversation that took place in his DM with Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya, it looks like, reached out. He says, man, what the F, bro? Talking ish about me? I have nothing but respect for you. I offered a ish ton of money to you and you turned it down. Go fight Pitbull for pennies, said De La Hoya. To which Rolly Romero responded, you should thank me and trade it said trademark Oscar de la Fishnets. You're welcome. Wow. He also said that basically Al Haymon is the GOAT. Al's the GOAT. And De La Hoya is not. Rolly out of Las Vegas says Al Haymon greater than drug addicted con man. And it says Amazon greater than DAZN. Good luck. Deuces. He throwing up the deuces. All that bullish for the bird. And you ain't nothing but a vulture. In the words of Chris Brown, deuces. He throwing up the deuces. He said, hold on, let's run it back from the top. This one need a pullback. Al Haymon, greater than drug addicted con man. And he's referring to Oscar De La Hoya, who's had his fits with sobriety. Amazon Prime, greater than DAZN. Good luck, deuces. It says, P.S. I want my royalties on Oscar De La Fishnets brand. Wow. Rolly, the king of the roasting, is back. So Rolly did promote that he wanted to fight. So keep in mind, Rolly's a champion. And I know some people are like, no, he didn't win versus the old man, Barroso. But Barroso, I know y'all crying, but Rolly's not Tony Weeks. He's not in charge of whatever happened in that fight outside of fighting. He showed up to fight. It was a difficult fight, got dropped. It's controversial, fine. But as it sits, he's the champion. But then he's switching gears to Pitbull Cruz and saying he wants to fight Pitbull Cruz in light of what's happening. So you guys got to subscribe to the channel. I keep telling you, best in the business. Who else gives you this audio quality, visual quality, and the information? Accurate, reliable information. Less clickbait. Let's go. So if you follow the past videos, Rolly has pushed for the Ryan fight. Ryan was also pushing for the Rolly fight. But the problem is Ryan Garcia, he's at a point where he keeps saying he wants these fights, but magically they all fall apart. They all fall apart. And that's not a good look as far as I'm concerned, because at the end of the day, listen, we got it. 2024 is going to be different. I promise you. Follow the channel. Watch this space. This year we're just getting started, but it ain't over. Watch this, because I'm going to do everything in my power to keep the game in check and where the game needs to be. And we need to just rid the game of some of the BS and negativity and clickbait and things like that, right? And get back to some real boxing. Ryan Garcia, he's a talented young fighter. He's a hungry young lion. But the problem people have is this new generation wants to speak on it, and they want to talk about the fights. They want to talk about who's next. They want to say these things, but at the end of the day, boxing fans are willing to pay, but there has to actually be an event for them to pay, right? I know I'm off the head with this, Get it? I said off the head. There has to be an event for them to pay. Off the head with this, to pay. There has to be an event for them to pay. That's a bar. Write that down. So there has to be an event for them to pay for. They have to pay for something. All this Twitter finger is, I mean, at best, I guess it's entertaining to some. Me, I'm a grown man, so I don't really like get my rocks off by watching people bicker online. Like, I want to see some action. Like, there's only so much talking in the world that one can do. That's a little too close. But there's only so much talking that I want to hear. Eventually, you get to a point you're like, man, show me something. It's like almost like even in the boxing match when you got the referee and someone getting a butt whoop, and the referee is like, I'm not going to let you have another round like you had in round 8. You got to show me something. And if you don't show me something, this fight is over. That's who I am. I'm that ref. You know, I don't want to see a bunch of people arguing and talking about fights. Like, it was very good last year that they got this fight done with Ryan and Gervonta Davis. And you notice when you make these big colossal fights, you make the fights that people are, you know, requesting, then good things happen. This fight you see on the screen did over 1 million pay-per-view buys because it was an event. Regardless of what you think, because I know there's people, hey, oh, it's not a big fight and all this stuff, but the proof is in the pudding. Versus you got to fight like with an obscure guy, like in this picture, Oscar Duarte. I mean, how many tickets did it sell? How many people were really tapped in? And I'm not like really anti this fight because he was coming off of a loss and it was his first fight in a new division. So, okay, you take it a little bit slow, but now people want to see Ryan Garcia fight a bigger name. A bigger name could have been Devin Haney. It could have been Rolly. Now, I did talk about this. When he was in negotiations for Devin Haney, I explained that I was okay with Ryan Garcia opting to not fight Devin Haney if he was going to instead fight a guy like Rolly, because Rolly's also a champion. See, boxing fans, they say, oh, I'm fair and objective, but they're not really fair and objective at all, right? Rolly has 1 belt. Devin has 1 belt. That's a fact. Now, you can argue the semantics of, oh, Rolly shouldn't be a champion and Devin looked very good versus Regis Prograis, but you got to be real with where the fighter is at. Ryan Garcia, post-fight, he told you where he was at, literally out his own mouth, because I watched it. After the Duarte fight, he called out Rolly Romero, said he wanted to fight Rolando Romero and make for a big fight. It's also a title fight, and he says eventually or later, he has a new training situation with Derek James. He's going to fight Devin Haney. So I have no problem with that, because to me, that's realistic. Because if you go into the fight with Devin Haney and lose, then Ryan Garcia, from a perspective of like building your fighter back after a recent loss to Tank Davis, he would be in 3 fights. He would be down 2. He'd be like 1-2 in his last 3 fights. So that's a dangerous proposition. Now, I'm not saying that he can't, in fact, lose to Rolly Romero, because Rolly definitely has power, and some even believe Rolly was getting the best of him in sparring years ago. I understand sparring is sparring, but the reality is it's a winnable fight, and it's a fight where it could be a shootout as long as it lasts. So, like, you gotta be realistic in building your fighter. Let the fans tell it. Like, let's say, for example, Demetrius Andrade. He just badly lost to David Benavidez, right? So they're talking about him moving back down to 160 because that's where he's more comfortable at, I guess, right? But let the fans tell it. They want Andrade to go fight another killer in the same weight class where we don't even know if he's, he had 2 fights at 168 and he lost 1 of them. So we don't even know if that's really his natural class where he can be effective. So I'm not mad at him not fighting David Morrell next, because again, if you just lost to David Benavidez and then you lose back-to-back to a guy like David Morrell, people are going to be like, you're washed, it's over. So you got to be realistic. And that's what boxing fans, I'm always the voice of reason in these conversations. Boxing fans don't want to be realistic. They say, oh, Ego, you're biased and I disagree with you. I don't care. I don't care who disagrees with me. I don't make videos for you. I don't make videos to give you hope. This is not Star Wars, A New Hope. I don't care what anybody's talking about. I'm saying what I'm saying. I stand on business. I stand on what I'm saying. And if you don't get it, you don't get it. Don't watch me. I don't know what else to tell you. But I had no problem with Ryan fighting Rolly. But then there is a problem if you turn down Jose Ramirez, you turn directions on Devin Haney and say, I'm not fighting Devin Haney. You have negotiations with Rolly and you say that doesn't happen. Now you're calling out Pitbull. That's likely to not happen. So what is DAZN and Golden Boy? What are they truly going to do when you're charging more and more money for DAZN? They keep raising the prices, but you're giving the fans less. That's a serious problem for any business. Once again, you're raising the price. There's a price hike, but you're not giving more quality. It's just like your favorite restaurant and the food's cool, but it's not like 5-star Michelin, you know what I mean? And they keep raising the menu prices on everything, but the quality's not going up. The customer service isn't going up. Now, Houston, we have a problem. It'd be one thing if you started expanding the menu or there was like a significant reason. Like even like Netflix. I don't want the price to keep going up, but Netflix keeps producing new movies and some of them are getting bigger and better, and Netflix studios, they're doing their thing. So at the end of the day, it is justified when you have big companies like Netflix that do raise the price. Like, yes, they are raising the price, but their quality of movies like The Extraction 1 and 2 were really good. You know what I mean? The Irishman was pretty good too. You know, it was a pretty dope flick. So people don't mind as much, but DAZN, all of Ryan's fights keep falling out. It keep falling out like kids with their baby teeth. You know what I mean? So it like, what are we talking about? Ryan got to fight somebody. And, you know, now that's why Rolly is taking to his social media and going in on the trio, DAZN. And Oscar's like, what are you talking about me for? And Oscar looks so concerned with his little girlfriend that I don't even know. Canelo said this. He's like, Oscar don't really even run his company like that. And that's what it seems like. Oscar worried about getting these fake abs and things like that. I don't know how much effort he's really putting into making these fights. He seems to be almost a roadblock in some of these fights, you know? So they're going to have to figure that out. Subscribe to the channel. Best in the business. More boxing content. Check out these other videos that I've done on the channel. You dig?